Hi, I'm Miles from Chorley Group EV, and today we're going to take a look at the Kia e-Niro. It's a new electric car, has won the What Car of the Year overall winner for 2019. It's a great car with a range up to 282 miles on a single charge. So let's take a look in more detail. Now the Niro from Kia has been around for a couple of years as both a hybrid and a plug-in hybrid model. This electric model, it's got some subtle changes that distinguish it as being electric. We've got this obviously blanked off front grille because the motor doesn't need the cooling that the engine would. And that's where we find this charge point under the front here. It's got both 7 kilowatts AC charging and CCS 50 kilowatts DC charging. Around the car it's got these turquoise highlights which show that it's the electric model also. And they help to really just lift the car, make it stand out. This particular car's got a 204 brake horsepower electric motor. It's good for 0 to 60 in around 7.5 seconds. This car has a 150 kilowatt motor, that's about 204 brake horsepower and 295 foot-pound of torque. So it's a really punchy drive, plenty of performance and great for blasting on A roads and B roads, motorway slogs, as well as it is comfortable cruising around town. Inside the e-Niro, it's a 5-seat crossover SUV, so it's a really good family-sized car. There's plenty of storage space around the vehicle. You've got cup holders under this slidey bit here, you've got storage under there, you've got this lower storage down here, because with the electric car, obviously they've got a fly-by-wire system, so you don't have any gear linkages and things like that. Instead, you've just got a rotary shifter to go reverse, neutral or drive. There's a spot here for you to put your mobile phone. It's got wireless charging, so you can just sit on a pad there and charge itself wirelessly. We've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay built in. We've got heated driver and passenger seats. We've got smart cruise control with auto lane keeping. So it's got all the features you come to expect on a premium car, and some that you only find on electric cars, like obviously regenerative braking, which is controlled by these flappy paddles here. So you can adjust the strength of the regenerative braking. There's also an auto regen setting, so it uses the radar at the front of the car to adjust the amount of regen depending on how close you are to the traffic in front of you. So overall, it's a really good car. It's very similar to the Hyundai Kona that we test drove a few months ago. This one, slightly bigger body, similar drivetrain, but it's a slightly wider, bigger, longer body, so it's a more practical family-sized car. The e-Niro feels like very much any other car. All of the controls are laid out very similar to a Sportage or other Kia model. But it drives very smoothly. It's got obviously single gear transmission, instant power take-up, so it's really easy to drive. We've got smart cruise control, which we're using at the moment, so it's keeping a safe distance from the car in front here on the motorway. It's got active lane keep assist, so it's keeping its steering in between the white lines as well. It just makes it a really easy car to drive. Now with the range, as I say, up to 282 miles according to the WLTP driving test. That range can vary depending on how you drive. I actually got this car the other weekend. I did 292 miles on a single charge. So I beat the official figures, and that was driving all over. I went from Skipton in North Yorkshire down to St Helens and back, and then to Doncaster Airport and back, and then on to Blackpool. So really, using an awful lot over the weekend to do a lot of different journeys, but that range really does stack up. So when it says 282 miles on the side of the car, it really means you can achieve that sort of mileage if you're driving carefully. Obviously, if you put it into sport mode, there's 4 driving modes. 3 driving modes that are easy to use. There's Eco, Comfort, and Sport. Sport unleashes all of the 204 horsepower and gives you access to all that torque. Eco mode knocks it back to about 150 brake horsepower, which is still plenty, and gives a bit stronger regen braking. If you hold down the drive mode button, it gives you Eco Plus, and that turns off the climate control and it limits your maximum speed to 60 miles an hour, which obviously helps to save a bit of energy, but it means that you can achieve really high mileages. Or if you're just running a bit short and you think you're not quite sure if you're going to make it to your destination, you can always put the Eco Plus mode on and hopefully eke out the range a little bit further. So overall, it's a great car to drive. It feels planted on the road. I've been driving the Hyundai Kona electric for a few months now, and I really like that. But this just feels that bit bigger, that bit more grown up. There's a bit more rear passenger space in this, a bit more boot space. There's actually more boot space in this electric Niro than there is in the hybrid version, because on the electric version the battery sits under the vehicle floor, whereas in the hybrid it sits in the boot. So on this model you actually get a bigger boot than you do in the hybrid car, which is great. So overall, it's a great car. If you'd like to test drive it, you can call our Blackpool branch or arrange a test drive via our website. The only issue with the car really, I mean, it's a great car. It's been proven so popular they're actually sold out for 2019. So if you're placing an order today, it's going to be 2020 before you see it delivered. But it shows what Kia is capable of. There's the Kia Soul EV coming out later this year with the same sort of range, which will give us, again, another option for electric cars from our franchises. So it's a really exciting time to be looking for an electric car, and there's going to be more models on the horizon very soon. So get in touch, Dave, if you can answer. If you've got any questions, we'll happily answer them and let you have a test drive. Thanks.